Rebecca. How are you guys today? It's really cool here. It's a old-fashioned ballpark. I'm going to go over these slides that I made. I've been working for 4 hours. I worked from 4 o'clock in the morning this morning until 4 to 5 to 6 to 7 to 8 to 4 hours this morning on what I want to show you right now. I want to just go through my little slides that I made for you this week. Okay, so you can probably hear all the construction going on. They are remaking this into a skateboard park and kind of trying to preserve the old Memorial Ball Field, which is super cool. I love this place, but I don't know that I like baseball. Baseball's a pain. So I think it was Monday morning, I woke up and I don't know, like stupid 30, and I felt the ruach on me, and I got up and I got to the whiteboard. So one of our walls in the cabin, Maggie can testify this too because she said she heard me. I got up on really stupid 30 in the morning, and with a headlamp, I think I had a headlamp on, I began to write on the whiteboard, and it was taking the subject of how am I saved that we've been talking about for the last 3 weeks, and narrowing it down into like just sentences, like, okay, you have to do this in order to get to do this in order to get this. This is kind of what I was getting downloaded, you know. So it was really, really super clear in my head. So I wrote it down on the whiteboard, and then this morning I got up early and made these slides. So I'm going to show you, I'm going to walk you through this it's super beautiful. Okay, so we are on a sinking Titanic. All right, the boat is sinking and people are drowning. All right, and what is the Titanic? The Titanic is man-made systems that evil has used to control the world. This is like the seals that Yahshuah is tearing off or taking off the little scroll, which is the title deed to the planet, okay? There are systems that go against Yahovah's law. And so I also have verses here and stuff, so I'm not going to go ahead and read through all of those right now. In fact, I will just give you all these slides. This is a PDF you can have. Okay, so man-made systems would be like governments, you know, the medical institutions, that whole world of medicine that is going against his law, you know, private schools, public schools, you know, the libraries, all man-made religion, all commerce, that sort of thing. All this stuff is controlled by Hasatan, and it's going down, and so you don't want to be aligned with this, right? So the goal is to get off the Titanic, right? Okay, so we need to get on the lifeboat, okay? Okay, so this is the narrow path. The narrow path is getting onto the lifeboat. So we must get set free from the world. Remember, the world is going down. It's the Titanic. The world's systems are going down, so we need to get on the lifeboat. So we must get set free from the world, and this is accomplished by having Yahshuah in us. Okay? Yahshuah in us. So we must eat of Yahshuah. So the lifeboat is getting Yahshuah in us. He said it. He who eats my flesh and drinks my blood dwells in me, and I in him. John 6:58. I am the living bread which came down from heaven. If any man eat this bread, he shall live forever. John 6:51. So we must get Yahshuah in us in order to be made perfect like him and have his new in quality love. Remember, it's so cool. And we need this new and quality love in us, so we operate in true other-centered love. Okay, because love by definition is other-centered, and if we're not other-centered, true love, if we don't operate in true love, being other-centered, then there's no hope for us, because that breaks his law of love, which is who he is, and that incurs the death sentence. Okay, so his love in us defeats death and gets us qualified for brideship. Okay, this is a legal arrangement that gets evil's claim off of us, because evil had no claim on Yahshuah, and so that's why we need to get Yahshuah in us, because we are what we eat. We become what we eat. Okay, you got it? So again, sinking Titanic, going down, need to get into the lifeboat. Sinking Titanic, the world, all the world systems that are run by Hasatan that he controls. get into the lifeboat, that is eating of Yahshuah. Okay? Gotta eat of Yahshuah to have his love in us so that Hasatan's claim gets released from us. Okay, but it's impossible to get free of this world and eat of Yahshuah without the gift of the Ruach HaKodesh. Okay? So this is so super important. It's impossible to get free of the world and eat of Yahshuah without the Ruach HaKodesh, and that's a gift. But the helper, which I believe is the word Ezer, I haven't looked it up completely in the in the Greek, but I know that Nehemiah Gordon said that they found Mark, Luke, and John in Hebrew now. Yeah, they totally found that in Hebrew. So I'd love to know what the Hebrew word was right there, but I think it's Ezer. But the helper, the Ruach HaKodesh, whom the Father will send in my name, she will teach you, the parcelet will teach you all things and bring to your remembrance all that I have said to you, John 14:26. And it is the Spirit that quickens, the flesh profits nothing, the word that I speak to your spirit, and they are life. John 6:63. I can't see, I need my glasses. Anyway, okay, so here we're on a Titanic. It's going down. We got to get off of that. We got to get into the lifeboat. Lifeboat is eating of Yahshuah and having Yahshuah in us. Having Yahshuah in us is the lifeboat. But we can't eat of Yahshuah and get him in us without the Ruach HaKodesh. It's a gift. Okay. Now, this is where to reject the Ruach HaKodesh is the unpardonable sin, because salvation for you or me stops right there if we reject the Ruach, because the point of the Ruach is to get in us, move us, and if we stop that, then there's nothing he can do, right? So to reject the Ruach HaKodesh is the unpardonable sin, because at that point Yehovah can do nothing for you, because he is all about free will, right? So he's not going to step on free will. He wants you to have total free will. Matthew 12:30-32 says, he who is not with me is against me, and he who does not gather with me scatters abroad. Therefore I say to you, all manner of sin and blasphemy shall be forgiven to men, but the blasphemy against the Ruach HaKodesh shall not be forgiven to men. Whoever speaks a word against the Son of Man, it shall be forgiven, but whoever speaks against the Ruach HaKodesh, it shall not be forgiven him, neither in this world or in the world to come. Huge. Okay. All right. But we can't get the gift of the Ruach HaKodesh so we can eat of Yahshuah without believing in Yahshuah. Check this out. And I read this last week. John 7:39-40 says, but this he spoke of the Ruach HaKodesh, which those who believe in him should receive. Okay? So you have to believe in him in order to receive the Ruach HaKodesh, and the Ruach HaKodesh you have to have in order to eat of Yahshuah. Okay, very cool. Okay, so what is it? What are we to believe about him? Okay, so we have to believe in Yahshuah in order to get the Ruach HaKodesh. We have to have the Ruach HaKodesh in order to eat of him, and we must eat of him to have him in us to be in the lifeboat, right? What are we to believe about him? Huge, very, very important question. We must believe that he is the prophet spoken of by Moses, whom we must obey. Okay? So, I'm going to read this. If any man hears my words and believes not, I do not judge him, because I did not come to judge the world, but to save the world. He who rejects me and receives not my words already has one that judges him. The word that I have spoken will judge him on the last day. I have not spoken these words of myself, but the Father which sent me commanded me concerning what I should say and what I should speak. I know that these commandments bring life everlasting. Therefore I speak and have spoken everything that the Father commanded me to speak. John 12:47-48, the corrected King James Version. Okay. And then also Deuteronomy 18:17-19, I will raise up for them a prophet like among you from their fellow Israelites, and I will put my words in his mouth. He will tell you everything I command him. I myself will call to account anyone who does not listen to my words that the prophet speaks in my name. And then John 65:14, this is a truth. The prophet, this is the prophet that should come into the world. So people were recognizing him at that time that he was the prophet that should come. Okay, So, remember, okay, so we started with the Titanic. The Titanic's going down. The life raft is Yahshuah in us. The mystery of the gospel is Yahshuah in us. So we have to eat of him to get him in us, but we can't eat of him unless we have the Ruach HaKodesh. But we can't actually get the Ruach HaKodesh unless we believe in him. But what is it we're supposed to believe? We're supposed to believe that he is the prophet Moses spoke about that we must obey. I'm still not done. Okay, so obey why? Okay, we must obey to prove that we believe in him so that we can get the Ruach, so we can eat of him and get into the lifeboat. You must obey. The purpose of obeying is to prove that you believe that he is the one that Yahweh sent, that you're supposed to obey. Okay? Yes, so that you can get the Ruach HaKodesh, so that you can eat of Yahshua, so you can have him in you, so you can get on the lifeboat. I think I just read that. But anyway, there you go. Okay. We're not done. Okay. Drowning person. Those who don't, so therefore we can conclude that those who don't obey him don't believe in him. Just sit with that for a minute. Okay, there's the understanding that not everyone knows that he is the prophet, of course. So Yehovah, in his time, when he wants to, he's going to reveal, he's going to teach through the rock, he's going to call, he's going to invite, he's going to choose. There's mercy, that's his realm, not ours. But you can understand from the context of the text, from the whole text itself, that if you don't obey him, then you don't believe in him. So you have to obey Yahshua to prove that you believe in him. So there's an action there, not just a mental, I believe. And this is where Christianity gets all wrong. I just believe, therefore I am saved. No, believe means action. You have to prove out your belief, right? Okay. Therefore, those who do not obey him don't believe in him. Therefore, they cannot get the Ruach. Therefore, they cannot eat of Yahshua. Therefore, they are not in the lifeboat. Therefore, they will go down with the ship. Again, there's mercy that's not my realm, but this is what the scriptures is saying. Okay, I'm not done. So, what are we to obey? This is a very good question. If we're going to obey, we're not going to obey man-made religion or every domination's thought of what it looks like to be in their club and obey that. No, you're going to obey what the scriptures say. But let's look and see. What are we to obey? We're to obey. Okay, so that Yahshua came to speak Yehovah's words that he spoke from the mountain on the first Shavuot. We must obey Yah's words from the mountain in order to obey Yahshua. Okay, now listen to this. Okay, John 24:23-24. If a man loves me, he will keep my Torah, his instructions, Yeshua's instructions, and my Father will love him. We will come to him. So Yehovah and Yeshua will come to him and make our abode in him. They'll dwell in us. He who does not love me does not keep my Torah. And what is the Torah? The word which you hear me speaking is not my word, but the Torah of my Father who sent me. There it is. And we're talking Exodus 19-24 that he spoke. He started to yell down from the mountain, and they were like, no, don't speak. You're killing me. I don't want to hear you. Have Moses speak to us, and then we'll listen, But then Yehovah said he was going to send a prophet that was greater than Moses and put his words from the mountain in him, right? Okay, I'm getting ahead of myself. So, what are we to obey? We're to obey the words, Yeshua's words, and Yeshua's words are the words that came from Yehovah at the mountain. All right. How do we know someone's obeying? We know by their fruits. Okay, not all fruit is good. Obedience to Yeshua is good fruit. Obedience to Yeshua is good fruit. Okay. Therefore, by their fruits you will know them. Not everyone that said to me, Lord, shall enter into the kingdom of heaven, but he that does the will of my Father in heaven. Many will say to me on that day of judgment, Lord, Lord, Have we not prophesied in your name? And in your name have not we cast out demons? And in your name have we not done wonderful works? Then I, Yahshuah, will pronounce the verdict. I never knew you. Depart from me, you violator of the Torah. Matthew 7:20-23. So we'll know if we're obeying by our fruits. We'll know if other people are obeying by their fruits. And what does that look like? It means actually you're going to be you're not going to violate Yahuwah's Torah. So then we need to know what his Torah is, right? Okay. But no amount of keeping will work if the change that is in Torah is rejected. So Genesis 49:10 and Hebrews 7:11 and 12. If we reject the change that is provided in Torah, then none of this applies. To pretend to keep the Levitical law is to reject the work of Yahshuah in favor of the old wineskin and the old wine. Okay, we're a new wineskin. We're going to get the new wine, the superior wine of the new Melchizedek priesthood, right? And Hebrews 7:11-18, okay, I'll just read this whole thing. If perfection could have been attained through the Levitical priesthood, and indeed the law was given to the people established that priesthood, why was there still need for another priest to come, one in the order of Melchizedek, not in the order of Aaron? For when the priesthood is changed, the law must be changed also. He of whom these things are said belonged to a different tribe, and no one from that tribe has ever served at the altar. For it is clear that our Messiah descended from Judah, and in regard to that tribe, Moses said nothing about priests. And what we have said is even more clear. If another priest like Melchizedek appears, one who has become a priest not on the basis of regulation, as to his ancestry, but on the basis of a power of an indestructible life. For it is declared, you are a priest forever in the order of Melchizedek. The former regulation is set aside because it was weak and useless, for the law made nothing perfect, and a better hope is introduced by which we draw near to Yahuwah. Hebrews 7:11-18. So beautiful, right? No OBEYIE, no BELIEVIE. No BELIEVIE, no RUACH. No RUACH, no EATIE. No EATIE, no SAVIE. Not funny, but that's in simple. So rejecting the RUACH stops you dead in your tracks. Rejecting the Melchizedek change is to reject him and to reject the work of Yahshuah, our Messiah. Shavuot is all about that change and what we are to obey. And then above all, remember, no love, break the law is death. This is the whole point of love, okay? This is the whole point of the story. It's just so beautiful. Without love, so you break the whole law. Remember, he said, if you're a clanging cymbal, if you have not love. But what's the kind of love that we actually need in us? We need Yeshua's love in us because his love was perfect. Thus, death had no hold on him. So the point is to get Yeshua's love into us. He wants to put his love into us, himself into us, so that we can love like he does. Lay your life down for a friend kind of thing. So if we have his love in us, we actually have Yahuwah's love in us, because he said that, remember, he said, I want you to be in them as I am in you and you are in me. So the whole point is to get Yahshua in us. That is the only way off the Titanic, the lifeboat of Yahshua in us. Right? Okay, so you can't get on the boat without eating of Yahshua, but you can't eat of Yahshua without the Ruach HaKodesh. You can't get the gift of the Ruach HaKodesh unless you believe. And what is it you've got to believe? You've got to believe that Yahshua is the prophet Moses spoke of, that we must shema, or obey completely. And then what is it that he said we must obey? Number one, we must eat of him. We must obey what he said. And he said that his words that he had in him, that he was speaking, were actually not his own words, but they were the Father's words, and the words from the mountain, his Father's commands, the Father's Torah, the Father's instructions that he gave during Exodus 19 through 24. So this is just incredibly beautiful. Love is, by definition, other-centered. So if we're all like born into sin, we're born into being selfish. So being selfish just by nature is going to break that law of love, which incurs the death penalty. And what Yehovah has come to do is to actually put in us His love that breaks us free from Hasatan's claim. It's just so incredibly beautiful, but very, 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 very simply put, no OBEYIE, no BELIEVIE, no BELIEVIE, no RUACH, no RUACH, no EATIE, no EATIE, no SAVIE. Simple in the sense of when you break it down like that, according to Yahshuah, you must eat of Him. But it's not just, let me go eat of Him and then I'll go do my own thing. Let me just eat of Him and I'll just eat what I want and then, I'm good to go. No, it's like you have to believe, you have to get the RUACH, and all these things are kind of dependent on each other. So the baseline is you have to believe that He's the prophet and that you have to obey Him. And then what do you have to obey? You have to obey Yahweh's words. And when you begin to walk in that mindset of repentance, that's repentance. It's turning from foreign gods back to Him. That turn and obeying Him, that's going to put you on the path to getting the Ruach HaKodesh given to you. It's going to put you on the path to, once you have the Ruach, then you can eat of Yahshuah and you can get Him in you, His love in you, so that Hasatan's claim will be released from you, and you will be able to go to the great wedding feast of the Lamb and get the family name. Okay, I will make those. I'll put those into a PDF form, and I'll just put them up. You can have them because they're pretty cool. Yeah, I mean, I think that closes out the "How am I saved?" topic that we've been doing. Now, I just want you to know that Shavuot coming up is all about this. I mean, in the sense of it's about the contract that we enter. It's about the change in priesthood. We're going to get ourselves to the base of the mountain on Shavuot, and we're going to renew our vows to Yahweh. And we're going to look at what we're committing to. We're going to look at what we're committing to, what He's asking of us, what He promises us, and how we go about actually entering into this covenant, and what the change was, because it's just super beautiful. So I'm going to talk about that. I'm editing the Shavuot Basics teaching video right now, so hopefully I'll have that done in a couple days. I was going to work on that this morning, but the Rock had other ideas. But I know sometimes it doesn't feel, like you're getting blessed, but I know that I've sat in that, it's like, where's the blessing? Where's the outpouring? Where's like the abundance that I believe we're supposed to see, and I'm scrounging for money to go, get food, or scrounging for money to do ministry, or, just really having a hard time getting, filling even just the convention, I was like, okay, where's the blessing? But it's something that we're in the middle of a war right now. We have to remember that, and that there's a lot going on, and I don't see everything. I know that Papa sees it all, and I want to, I surrender having to know to Him, because I trust that He is good, I trust that He cares, I trust that He knows what's going on, and I can just relax and know that, if I'm obeying, if I'm believing, if I got the Ruach, if I'm eating of Yahshuah, man, it doesn't matter what circumstance you have to deal with. He's blessing you because He's going to get you on the life raft. He's going to get you off the Titanic. And then you'll have everything that you need, everything you ever wanted. And it's going to be so much more than that. It's going to be so amazing. This endurance thing till the end, right? I could probably go off on that for a while, but all this noise is kind of like tripping me out. So